is. It is the Extra Yard here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I am Alex Donno. Troy Stratford is out again today. He should be back. We'll do an episode tomorrow or Thursday with Troy, expecting Alfredo Arteaga from 3 yards per carry to be stopping by at any minute. Guys, make sure you know the live chat is open. You want to get in, say hi to us. Got our guy Daniel Barry is in. Yo to you as well, Daniel. The live chat is free. If you do want to throw us something in the super chat, that is open as well. It's hard to believe we're just a little over a week away from the NFL draft. Yeah, I know our Miami Dolphins are not going to be picking on Thursday night, round 1, unless they put together some kind of a crazy trade to move into the first round, which I absolutely do not expect them to do. So I think pick number 51 on the second day is going to be the first time we see our Dolphins pick, 51 and 84. Then we'll go from there in day 3. I want to remind you guys, this episode of The Extra Yard is proudly brought to you by You Break Wheel Fix. They're back. And by Prize Picks, who are always around. Prize Picks do an awesome job, but so does You Break. I want to welcome them back here. You Break Wheel Fix, the complete automotive wheel solution. If you ever park too close to the sidewalk curb, I know I have. You Break Wheel Fix specializes in the repair of damaged wheels from bends, cracks, curb rash. Are your wheels faded or peeling? Well, you don't need to replace them, as You Break Wheel Fix can refinish them to like new, offering complete refinish options through powder coating, machine polishing. You Break Wheel Fix is the answer to all your wheel needs. And if you're just looking to give your ride a new look, You Break Wheel Fix offers many new car customization options, such as new custom wheels and tires from your favorite brands, performance upgrades, window tinting, and suspension modifications. You can trick out your wheels to be themed like your favorite sports team. I've done that before with Miami Hurricane stuff. It's awesome. Located just south of Aventura, you can reach Mark and his staff at 305-748-0112 or online at youbreakwheelfix.com. They are really active on all social media platforms at youbreakwheelfix. So shoot them a DM on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter and get an estimate in just minutes. Jalen Hurts, franchise quarterback from the Philadelphia Eagles. Same draft class as Tua, used to be a college teammate of Tua, coming off a Super Bowl appearance. Hurts is getting paid. And folks, whenever you see money being doled out to NFL players, especially quarterbacks, right? Because those new contracts are always getting a little bit higher as the salary caps go up. Quarterbacks make more money. Heck, quarterbacks make more money even sometimes disproportionately towards the salary cap, and they just take up a higher percentage of the cap whenever franchise quarterbacks get paid. And there's always a ripple effect. There's always a domino, right? When a certain quarterback gets paid and sets the market, once other quarterbacks like Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Tua hasn't gotten his long-term extension yet. The Dolphins did exercise the 5th year of his rookie deal, and then coming off of 2 seasons from now, because he's heading into year 4 next year, and then coming off of that final year, I would imagine the Dolphins would either, assuming they reach an agreement on a long-term extension, would happen before he hits free agency, or God forbid he has a poor season coming up or he's got an injury-riddled season. They may decide not to negotiate, at least right away, a new deal with him. But hopefully everything goes well this season and he plays at a Pro Bowl pace and doesn't get injured this year. But yeah, anytime you see a quarterback out there get big-time money, and Hurts, technically, it's not the biggest guaranteed deal ever, which is important because guaranteed money is real money. The rest of it is not necessarily real. So it's not the biggest guaranteed money ever. Deshaun Watson has that. Go figure. But Jalen Hurts, just by the number on the contract, has got now the biggest deal, a record deal, massive extension for Hurts. $255 million is the number that's written on the contract. $179.3 million guaranteed and no trade clause. Okay. And, he's already gotten some positive reactions from players around the league for getting paid, including a couple of Dolphins receivers. Tyreek Hill gave Hurts love on Twitter for getting that deal. Jalen Waddle gave him love for getting that deal. He said, Hurts, back up that Brinks truck, man. So, you have to wonder now, unfortunately, unlike Hurts, Tua is not coming off of a Super Bowl appearance. Hurts, by the way, I think he's going to be all right by the time next season starts, but he did just have a procedure. It was revealed he had a procedure done in February after the Super Bowl. So he just had surgery done on an injury that goes back to his time at Alabama. So it's not like he's been completely healthy and completely consistent. But, you have to wonder if Tua goes out there this coming season, 2023, he balls out and the Dolphins offense is scoring points for fun. Miami gets into the playoffs and hopefully makes a bit of a playoff run. You've got to now look at that Hurts contract and say, okay, does Tua make a little bit less than that? Does he make a little bit more than that? Because remember, these numbers on these quarterback contracts get a little bit bigger each and every year, okay? You have to wonder how that may play out. We get a message here from Carlos who says, Burrow, Herbert, Lamar, and any future contract from Mahomes, Josh Allen will easily eclipse the Hurts contract. Oh, 1,000%. That's what we talk about setting the market because, okay, I know Hurts was just in the Super Bowl, but Burrow was in the Super Bowl the year prior. If you're asking me who I'd rather build a team around, I'd rather build a team around Joe Burrow than Jalen Hurts. That's a no-brainer. So, yes, Hurts is going to make more money than Burrow is going to make more money than Hurts. Now, you could argue the Justin Herbert one. And I know a lot of Dolphin fans out there who get really angry about Justin Herbert because he was drafted one spot after Tua. And a lot of people say they should have drafted Herbert, not Tua. So a lot of Dolphin fans do not like Justin Herbert. The interceptions he throws late in games, he's the stat patter is what they say. But I would imagine Herbert is going to be in that neighborhood. Maybe he'll even make more money than Jalen Hurts when he signs his deal. And then Lamar Jackson. That's a big one. If you're the Baltimore Ravens and you're still hoping at finding a way to get him back at the negotiating table, he's already asked for a trade from Baltimore. I think Lamar would like to stay in Baltimore. He just doesn't feel like they're showing him the love and respect that he deserves. This now gives Lamar was already using the Deshaun Watson deal as a benchmark and as evidence to say, look what they're paying this guy. Like this guy hasn't played football in a couple of years, comes off the massage table, all the controversy, all the legal trouble, and he comes back rusty, and he's getting the most guaranteed money ever. That's what Lamar was saying about that Deshaun Watson deal, that if he deserves that, I deserve more than that. So that was a benchmark for him. Now this Hurts deal becomes a benchmark. At Pro Football Talk, they published a piece today that compares the contract that Lamar Jackson rejected versus the the extension that Jalen Hurts just signed and how similar those deals are. They write for both players, the base offer consisted of a 5-year extension. That's right. Hurts just signed a 5-year extension, $255 million. In raw dollars, they say Jackson was offered $50 million per year. Hurts accepted $51 million per year. At execution, the total injury guarantees for Jackson would have been $175 million. For Hurts, they are $180 million, they say. The full guarantee at signing would have been $133 million for Jackson. For Hurts, it will be $110 million. And here's the key point they write. By year 2, Hurts will have his full guarantee increase to $126.5 million. Jackson would have had $168 million fully guaranteed by the second year of the deal. That's the practical guarantee. The amount the player definitely will get because he's not getting cut after one season. Also, Hurts will receive $60 million by the end of the first new year of the deal. Jackson would have had $87.63 million by the end of the first new year. Considering the old money, Hurts is on the books for $259.3 million over 6 years. Jackson would have been under contract for 6 years, $273.5 million. So yes, Jackson's offer looks better than the Hurts deal, the deal Hurts accepted, at least based on those metrics. It will also suggest that the Hurts deal will do little to bring Jackson and the Ravens to a long overdue consensus. Siri, I'm not talking to you. Well, Siri thought that I was asking her about Jalen Hurts. I wasn't asking you about Jalen Hurts, Siri. So that's a really interesting point there. As my guy Tua Tagovailoa, they're going to be looking for that contract extension at some point, probably within the next year. But as we talked about so much here on the Extra Yard and so much on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, All of that is going to hinge on what kind of success and what kind of health Tua has coming into this season. You can't say he's not working at it, right? The guy had issues with concussions last year, had issues with the way he fell. He's been working on that. He's been training martial arts, judo. I know he's gotten a lot of offers to do jujitsu training as well. I'm not sure if he's taken people up on that. He probably has. You know, he had the cold weather issues. He worked with his brother up in Maryland, trying to throw in a little bit worse weather and try to correct that part of his game. So he's doing everything in his control to shore up the weaknesses that existed in his game and in his health. And we're only going to know once he steps onto the field next year. You know, your Dolphins, I would imagine, hope and pray they're going to improve that offensive line, right? I mean, I'd like to see this team bring in a more reliable right tackle than what they've been throwing out there. If Austin Jackson is the projected starting right tackle this year, and I know before he was dealing with injuries last year, he wasn't doing that poorly. So it's going to be about getting him healthy and trying to find more consistency. The Dolphins did change the offensive line coach. Clearly, they didn't like the job that Matt Applebaum was doing last year. They let him go. I think he wound up back at Boston College, right where he left before that. They brought in Butch Berry, who was with the Denver Broncos, was with my Miami Hurricanes a few years ago. I'm hoping Butch can find some magic in that unit and that they can use one of their draft picks on a right tackle, because you've got the left side. The left side is all right, okay? The left side, but then the right side is Tua's blind side. You've got to keep that protected. You have to keep Tua protected, and you've got to try to make that running game more consistent, because I believe in what the Dolphins have. I mean, Mostert and Wilson, I like that 1-2 combination coming back. They both got that rapport with Mike McDaniel and that understanding of his system and his offense. So if the offensive line can stay healthy, and if that explosive passing game, which was so good last year when Tua was healthy, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, then you've got some magic going there. But I think that when you look at the type of money that's now being thrown out there to quarterbacks, something the Dolphins are very fortunate about for the next 2 years. You got the fourth year of Tua's rookie deal coming up in 2023. You've got the extension year that the Dolphins have already locked in for about, I think, just under $24 million for that year, which is a bargain for a starting quarterback these days in the NFL. You only have to pay your starting quarterback $24 million. Jalen Hurts is making $51 million, right? Is Jalen Hurts better than Tua? Maybe. At Alabama, he wasn't. Now, maybe. Is he literally twice as good as Tua, or more than that? Is he worth $51 million compared to $24 million for Tua in a couple of years? No, he's not that much better than Tua. So you have to think about it in terms against the salary cap and what you can do to fill out the rest of these positions to have the next 2 years with your starting quarterback at a discount. The Dolphins have a really powerful 2-year window to try and win something. I'm not saying the window can't extend beyond 2 years, because cap gymnastics, Chris Greer, Brandon Shore, they can try and work some magic, right? And even once they sign Tua or whoever your quarterback might be in a couple of years, probably Tua, but you never know. That's weird. I was trying to get Alfredo in here. He says the page is unresponsive. Let me see if I can send him another link. Hold on. This is live production here. I don't have anybody in the back working with me. Let me try to get Alfredo a link so he can hop in here. Just let him know. Sent a new link. I've seen some people who are able to have one conversation and then they're typing something out while they're talking and saying something completely different. I can never do that. If I'm typing out to Alfredo, sent a new link, I got to say, I can't be talking about right tackles and quarterback contracts. I got to be having this conversation. So yeah, for the next couple of years, maybe you can extend a window beyond that. But if you're looking at a Miami Dolphins team that is being assembled to win now, you've got a great chance in the next couple of years when you've got a quarterback in 2023 at a super discount and then a quarterback still at a discount in 2024 with that 5th-year option. You've got an opportunity to really load up both sides of the football. And of course, they're trying to load up that defense as well. You know, you go out and you get Jalen Ramsey. You go out and you hire best damn defensive coordinator in the business right now in Vic Fangio to try and improve this thing and turn this Dolphins unit into, top 10 in every category, the way that his defense is in, in Denver, San Francisco, Chicago, everywhere Fangio has been, he's had top 10 defenses. Hopefully it can play out that way. Lenny says, got to give Tua credit. The guy is a hard worker. I'm so glad he's our QB1. When it comes to the attitude and the dedication, he's a max guy, right? It's just we don't know for sure if he's like a max salary quarterback with the health and consistency. I think ability he is as well, right? Last year, he answered a lot of questions about the deep ball accuracy and efficiency. He answered a lot of those last season. He obviously, still has some questions to be answered about the health and the concussion issue that he's had now. But I'm with you on that. I give Tua credit. I also give a lot of credit to the folks at Prize Picks. Guys, I hope you've signed up by now. You've heard about Prize Picks on all of our awesome shows on the Locked On Network. On the I do shows on a lot of different networks. On the 5 Reasons Sports Network, you've heard about Prize Picks across all of our shows here. Guys, if you haven't signed up yet, prizepicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app and type in our code 5. Type in FIVE when you're making your first deposit, and they're going to hook you up with a 100% deposit match up to $100. You deposit $100 in your Prize Picks account, they're going to give you $100 on top of that for nothing. Prizepicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app with our code 5. You got to spell it out, FIVE. I'm going to be all over the Miami Heat tomorrow as it's going to be tough, but they're going to try to extend their lead against the Bucks to 2-0. They've already stolen home court advantage, right? They won game 1 in Milwaukee. They shocked the world. They're going to be without Tyler Hero for the rest of the series. Unfortunately, he broke 2 fingers going for a loose ball the other night. I think Giannis is probably going to be back for the Bucks. So it's not going to be easy, but the Heat are going to try to take that 2-0 lead. If you're looking for the numbers on Jimmy, for Bam, Max Strus, who was hitting all those threes the other night, you can check him out at Prize Picks. Prize Picks makes this so easy. You simply select 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players and predict if they're going to go over or under their stat projections. And if you get all your predictions correct, you're winning real money. It's like parlays and daily fantasy. It's the perfect marriage between the two of those things. And you don't even have to take players from the same sport or the same league. Like in the same night, you can have Miami Heat players, Florida Panthers players, Bruins, Bucks, whoever you want, all on the same selection. You can mix and match the sports and win real cash that way. So I'm telling you, if you haven't checked it out yet, it makes the game viewing experience so much more fun. Fully legal in Florida, which means you can put your money in, take your money out with no problem. Prizepicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app. It truly is daily fantasy made easy. Jesse is chiming in. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to be a good football team this year. If what? Oh, is there another part to that? They're going to be a good football team this year if Tua stays healthy, if the offensive line can fix up the right side, if Fangio can work his magic in 1 year, if Tyreek Hill basically does the same thing he did last year all over again. So it is Cheetah. Cheetah's talking about retiring in 3 years. That's another one. I talk about the Dolphins having a 2-year window remaining with a really low-priced quarterback, right? 2 years remaining with a quarterback who's not costing you anywhere near what starting quarterbacks usually cost in this league. You've got that window coming up for the next 2 years, but you also maybe have a 3-year window with Tyreek Hill if Cheetah's talking about retiring. And listen, we'll see if he follows through with that. I can remember like 15 years ago, a different sport, I know, but I remember like 15 years ago, Anderson Silva would say he was going to retire from fighting when he was like 35 years old. And he ended up fighting, I think he still might be boxing, but he ended up fighting till he was like 40 plus. We saw Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Brady had the false retirement and then the retirement. Some people think he may not stay retired this time around. So you never know. When Cheetah talks about retiring in 3 years, I don't know if you can take him at his word for that, but I respect it, right? If someone wants to call their own shot and say, you know what, by the time 3 more years elapse, I'm going to have made all the money that I need to this point in my life. I've got he's got his podcast and he's involved in so many different things, all the charitable work. He's got enough other things he can do to keep that living going. He's already made a tremendous living. He's made a lot of money in football. He wants to enjoy his family. If he comes to that decision in 3 years to hang him up, I can respect him for it. I just hope the Miami Dolphins can win something before then. I've been waiting my entire life for a Lombardi. My entire life. I've been privileged to watch Miami Hurricanes team win national championships, football and baseball, nearly basketball this year. We'll have to try again next time. I've seen my Miami Heat win 3 titles. I've seen the Marlins win 2 championships. But my entire life, born in 84, and I missed it by 11 years, I've been waiting for the Miami Dolphins to win a Lombardi and take that parade down. I don't know where they go, down Davie Boulevard or Biscayne. Well, probably not Biscayne Boulevard. Down University Drive. Well, no, they don't practice in Davie anymore. Down Miami Gardens Drive. They'd probably take the parade down. That would be a lot of fun, man. So, yeah, keep it rocking here in the live chat. Now, hold on. I got to let Alfredo says he can join in 10 minutes, but I don't know if I can still be here in 10 minutes. I got another show coming up in a little bit. So, hopefully the Miami Heat can extend their lead against the Bucks from 1-0 to 2-0. Florida Panthers have got to bounce back. By the way, the reason why I'm going to have to run here in a little bit is I got to get ready for this later tonight. 7 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be on 560 WQAM with Doug Plagans, who calls the Panthers games. Tremendous guy, great broadcaster. I mean, just oozing talent, right? Oozing talent, Doug Plagans. He and I from 7 to 9 p.m. tonight are going to be hosting a Florida Panthers preview. Well, they've already played one game, but it's a Florida Panthers playoff special. Unfortunately, the Panthers dropped the 3-1 decision in Boston last night. They've still got opportunity to steal home ice advantage. If you haven't been following hockey this year, the Bruins are a juggernaut. I was not happy about the Panthers. They played around this year. They messed around. They got the 8 seed, which, was not good after being the 1 seed and the President's Trophy winners last year. Be a mess around. You got that 8 seed. You match up against a generational Boston Bruins team, which recorded a record 135 regular season points. No one's ever done that before. And I know that, there were some like Montreal Canadiens teams and Red Wings teams back in the day when they didn't do shootout points, right? So like games could end in a tie in the old days. So they weren't throwing out as many points as they're throwing out today. So maybe like there would have been some teams in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, early 90s that probably would have recorded more points than the Bruins, but still no one's ever gotten 135 points in a regular season before. Generational Boston team. And that Bruins team, if you're trailing in the third period, good luck. Ullmark is an incredible goaltender. Their defense, Boston, they can put the clamps on. Right. Sometimes you'll see NHL teams. It's happened to my Panthers many times where they got a 1-goal lead, a 2-goal lead in the third period, but they take their foot off the gas. They get caught sleeping on a couple of shifts, and then all of a sudden the game is tied or you lose the game. Never happens to the Bruins. Like that Bruins team, they're so good at putting the clamps down. When they have a lead in the third period, they can just put the game to bed. I think the Panthers only got 8 shots on net in the third period when they were trying to come from 2 goals behind. And it wasn't their night for that. But yeah, back on the Dolphins, Jesse agrees with what I said. That if the whole team stays healthy. There's nothing wrong with that because usually, not all the time, but usually the teams that win the Super Bowl are not only, the best teams, but they're the best, healthiest team in the league. Because keeping your most important players, your starting left tackles, your starting quarterbacks, of course, although, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. The first time Tom Brady won a Super Bowl, he was an injury replacement, and that worked itself out in the end. Trent Dilfer, was not the guy who started the season with the Ravens that year that they won their first championship. But usually, keeping your most important players healthy, that's a common denominator. The team that wins the Super Bowl is usually the team that keeps their most important players the healthiest by the end of the year. So I appreciate that. All right, my friends, I got to wrap it up on that note. Make sure you're supporting prizepicks.com, You Break Wheel Fix, and betteredge.com, because with all these games going on in the local playoff space over the next couple of days, you're going to want to make sure you're all over Prize Picks and Better Edge. You know, I'm trying to pull up the game times for tomorrow. Hold on one second. So, yeah, so we got Heat Bucks. Oh, 9 o'clock. Oh, I hate 9 o'clock. So what is it, the NBA Finals already? 9 o'clock start tomorrow in Milwaukee. What a drag that is. Panthers Bruins tomorrow at 7:30. So at least you space them out a little bit, right? Where the Panthers game will be over. The Heat game probably won't be in the fourth quarter yet by the time the Panthers game ends. So, yeah, we will talk to you guys. I think we'll do this again tomorrow on another episode of The Extra Yard, part of the awesome 5 Reasons Sports Network. See ya.